Hello there, welcome back to my channel. It is nearing Christmas time and I just have really been enjoying doing a simple makeup look with a muted red lip. So that's what we're going to be doing today. As always, you don't have to use the exact same products that I'm using today, but I will list what I'm using today in the description box below the video. I'll also pin a comment because I feel like that's sometimes easier to find the links in a comment. So I will do that. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started. So we're doing a full face today, but I'm going to try to move through this pretty quickly because we're all short on time these days and we don't want to have to spend tons of time to get a really nice put together look. So on my face, I'm starting off with the R&R Sun Serum. I've been testing this off and on. It's SPF 50. It is more glowy and a little more hydrating than my normal sunscreens. So that's why I don't use it all the time, but I think it looks really nice under the Dior Matte Forever foundation. That's what I'm going to use today. I feel like with a red lip, whether it is muted or not, it is important to really make sure you conceal any redness on your face because the red lip will accentuate any redness that is on your face. So I love to do a more full coverage foundation and then keep the eyes and everything else a little bit lighter so that the focus can stay on that beautiful lip. So I'm combining two colors. I have 1W and 2W, and this seems to be about the perfect combination. I have a little bit of Sunless Tanner on, so hopefully this will, of course I have a turtleneck on, so it's not gonna matter if it's completely the perfect match because nobody's gonna be seeing my neck. I'm using the Eco Tools brush. This is the 360 and this is the medium size brush. I've actually never used this brush with this foundation before, so I thought we'd give it a try today. So I'm just smoothing that in, and with that sun serum, I feel like this foundation just glides right over the skin and really blends in super easily. All right, I'm gonna fold down my turtleneck while I finish the rest of my makeup, just so we don't get any makeup on there. I'm gonna let that foundation set and settle a little bit before I go in and do any kind of pinpoint concealing. So we're gonna go to the eyes next. I'm using the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I have it in the shade Light. I hope that they bring this back. I feel like it is out of stock a lot lately. So I don't know what NARS is doing, but I hope that you can get your hands on this. I really like to use something like this if I'm doing a lighter look on the eyes, just to add a little bit of concealing and help even out the eyelid. May have noticed my nails while I was doing that. I just finished doing them and I actually filmed a video. These are the Dashing Diva glaze strips and they're so cute and holiday inspired. I'm getting ready for Christmas here. All right, for my palette of choice. This is a palette that I have been using a ton ever since I got it. I showed this in a previous video, a Get Ready With Me video, but I didn't use it other than this shade. This is the Viseart Cashmere palette. I don't know, I don't speak French, but when I saw this palette, I thought, oh my goodness, this is a beautiful palette. And you would think that I had been, using a lot of the pinks, but because I've been doing this muted red lip look a lot, I've actually been using a lot of the neutrals in here and loving them. So we're gonna start, as always, with the matte cream shade on the Sigma E50 along the brow bone. And this palette, I've just been enjoying it. It gives me a really nice neutral eye when I want to. And then of course we have those beautiful pinks in there, which I love. Next, in the crease, I'm gonna use the rougher brush number 15. And I'm gonna do a combination of these two shades. So the pink and this camel shade. And I'm just gonna work this through the crease. And I like the mix of these two. When I'm doing a red lip, I feel like in the crease of the eye, if I do just a hint of just a little bit of a pinky tone, I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like it really blends well and works well with the look. And then I'll go in with just a little more of the camel shade. Once I get a little bit of that pink tone in there, and just further blend with that camel shade. On the lid, I'm gonna go in with this really nice, brightening, smooth, it has shimmer, but it's not chunky, glittery shimmer. It's so pretty and very brightening. I mean, look at that, I'm instantly awake. Even though you might be staying up late wrapping presents or going to Christmas parties, those kinds of things. This is one way to fix that tired look. And we will go back and add more of that in the inner corner after we do concealer. But I just think this is a great shade all over the lid. In the outer corner, I have been loving this shade. When I showed it the first time, I told you that it has just a hint of like a khaki green shade to it. You're never gonna see it on the eye as khaki, but I just think that makes it really unique and keeps it more on the cool side of things, but it's not gray. You know, sometimes a cool brown means that it leans more of like, has more blue. You can see on the eye, it comes off mostly as just a nice deep brown, but I don't know, there's just something about this shade I have been really enjoying. And I am just keeping this right on the outer corner going up past the crease. And this is the rougher number 12 brush. And this just packs on the color really nicely. And then I'll just real lightly blend the edge of those shadows together. And then go back with our blending brush. This is the number 15. Still don't know these brush numbers very well, but I'm learning. And I'm just gonna take that brush and just gently sweep. I don't have any extra product, but I'm just sweeping that over that shimmer shade on our lid to kind of blend those two. Now it's time for eyeliner, and I just sometimes like to go in with a real thin line of black liner just to kind of finish out the eye look, make the lash line look darker. I've been using the Revlon Color Stay Sharp Line, and overall I've been finding this pretty easy to work with, and I'm just going to lay that into the lash line and go across. So real thin here in the inner corner. And then what I'm doing here is from about the midpoint out, I am going to kind of go almost like I'm going straight across, but I'm going to stop before I get to the edge of the eye. I know that seems a little strange, but I feel like when you're in a hurry, you don't want to spend time perfecting a wing, especially if you have hooded eyes. If you stop before the edge and then we use a little bit of shadow just to kind of blend that out, I think it makes it easier. And then I'll just take this small pointed rougher brush number 03, a little more of that dark shadow. And I'm just going to go right over the edge of that line and just blend it out. You can see how nice and soft the edge of that line is. And then you can just kind of take that brush with a little bit of shadow, go right over the edge of that line just to soften it and perfect it if you need to. On the lower lash line, I've been going back and forth of which pencil to use. The Urban Decay Mushroom Pencil, you know, this is one of my favorites, or this is kind of a new-ish pencil to me. This is the Sephora 12-Hour Colorful Crayon Contour Eye Pencil. And what is the shade here? This is the shade Flirting Game. And I think I'm going to use this today because it's a very similar tone to that eyeshadow that we have in the outer corner, but just a lot softer. So I'm going to use this just a little bit on the lower lash line and then smudge it in with my finger. Cleaning up under the eye with a little bit of almond oil. And I'll just kind of sharpen the edge of the eyeshadow with that almond oil. All right, one more final step. One thing that I want to do to the eyes is I'm going to go to this palette into this shimmery taupe shade, and I'm using the Morphe M432, and I'm just going to tap this, the center, and it just adds a little more, see that? Just adds a little more glow, and I think softens that line just a little bit. Just one of those little extras you could totally skip. Okay, for concealer, I just got a new shade of the Dior Backstage Flash Perfector Concealer. This is in the shade 1W. I had 2W. This might be a little light. I might have to bring in a little bit of 2W, but let's just see here. Oh, actually not too bad. All right. I'm still testing this one out, but I do feel like it gives really good coverage even without a color corrector. I'm going to use the BK Beauty A506 to just quickly blend that out. Ah, concealer, another one of those wonderful magic tricks when you haven't been getting a lot of sleep. See how nice that is? No color corrector, just tiny little amount. So again, I'm still forming an opinion, but so far I feel like it does give really good coverage and I seem to keep that coverage really well through the day. Okay, couple little extra points of concealing. Just do a little bit there, and then I just want a little more here on the outer part of the eye. Give ourselves a little lift. Make sure we also brighten in towards the nose here. All right, I'm going to go over with my travel size BK Beauty 101 brush and just tap in a little bit so you can see with that sunscreen, it really changes the finish of that Dior foundation. Definitely makes it more glowy. Okay, for contour, I just like to do a little bit of cream contour. This has become one of the fastest ways for me to do cream contour. And so I'm using the NARS. This is the Laguna Bronzing Cream in shade 01. And I'm using the BK Beauty 107 brush. Just adding a little bit of shape and a little bit of color. We're going to wait to do our blush until after we apply our lip color. But I do like to go ahead and add a little shape into our face. Quick contour of the nose here. By doing that highlight down the center of the nose, I feel like that really helps. And then I just add a little tiny bit of shading on either side. I'm gonna add a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is the shade 2.5. which has a little bit of some golden undertones to it. I'm using the Sephora brush number 47 to blend this in. I am loving this brush for cream highlighter. You can use it also to blend in your concealer, but it's a little big. Doesn't fit under my eye as well, but I have been loving it for this. Blends it in very quickly, allows you just to tap it in. Get some more glow. Before I powder the face, I'm going to go ahead and powder under the eyes. This is the Sigma Soft Focus Setting Powder, and this is the shade Vanilla Bean. This is the lightest one. And I'm just going to tap off my brush and go in with the lightest amount possible. All right, before setting the rest of my face, I think I've actually changed my mind. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this cream blush. This is from Tarte. This is the Man Eater Double Duty Beauty, and this is the shade Buff. I've been loving this. I have this formula in a couple of different shades, and I don't know, I just think this is just a beautiful neutral color. And I'm gonna blend it in with the rougher brush number 04. One of you told me not to be afraid to use these with cream products, and you are right. it blends in. Cream blush, especially this one, Like a Dream. See how that added it's just a little more color than a bronzer, but not much. So that's why I feel like this is a really great option for a red lip. So we might actually be good with that, but we'll go ahead and powder now. Right, this is the Honest Beauty Blurring Powder, and this really is my favorite with this foundation. There is something about the combination of the two. I'm using the Laura Mercier Powder Puff, but ColourPop has a very similar one. This just happens to be the cleanest one I have right now. You know how it goes. We get close to Christmas and all the brushes and everything need to be washed. Let's add a little bit of inner corner highlight here. All right, it is time to do brows. And I tell you what, ever since I have been wearing my makeup glasses, my brow game has been so much better. If you have no idea what these are, I will link a video up here and in the description box, but these are literally makeup readers. And so it allows you to see up close on the eye that you're working on. So it opens up this whole side. Check out that video because it gives you lots of tips of how you can actually use these to do your whole eye look. But I have experimented a couple days. I didn't use these and oh my goodness, my brows would not cooperate. So I think I now have to use these every time I'm doing my brows if I want them to be even, and it just really helps me get this nice solid line underneath here. And then it helps me also kind of find the right place to stop with the brows as well here in the inner part. This is the IT Cosmetics Brow Power in Universal Taupe. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the Essence. This is Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel. And let's see, where is the shade here? Blondie Brows. And this has quite a lot of product, so I like to wipe it off first. And just kind of go through the brows. And then when you're done with one eye, you just flip this over and go in with the other eye. Next, it's time to curl our lashes. This is the rougher lash curler. All right, I've chosen a very random combination today. I'm using the Dior Maximizer 3D Lash Serum, and then I'm going to use the Sochi Mascara and the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions on my lower lashes because I know that will not smudge on me. I'm gonna wait for my mascara to dry before I clean up a few little specks underneath. So let's go next to the lips. I'm using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot around the edge. Even though the red lipstick that I am using is really great at not bleeding past the lip line, I still like to do this just to kind of create a blank lip edge so I can draw in where exactly I want my lip line to be. My first tip for a muted red lip is to go around the edge of the lips with a muted, kind of a neutral color. So I'm gonna use the Urban Decay lip liner in Nighthawk. This is a little more of a, well, it's definitely more of a mid-tone brown, kind of a warm brown shade. You could go in with a nude lip liner because you're really just using this to help you stay in the lines with your red lipstick. I would definitely encourage to use a lip liner if you're doing red lipstick, but it doesn't have to match completely. So I'm going to use this lip liner today. feathering the edge of that line ever so slightly. Now, the perfect muted red lip combination that I have found lately is the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Lip Ink in Lippy. And then I add just a little bit of Cheeky over the top of it. So let's apply Lippy. And you need to shake these for about 5 seconds. And then you want to use the thinnest layer possible. And I am going over that lip line. You can use your finger just to blend that in. And this also helps remove any excess. So you can see that is a beautiful color. And I even feel like this color on its own is not overly crazy bright, but I'm going to now just tone it down. And I like to do this before it's dried completely. I don't know that there's a right or wrong way to do this, but I'm going to tap a little bit of this on. And now we can revisit the cheek color. So I feel like I could use just a little bit of color on those cheeks. And so I'm gonna go in with this Hourglass blush. This is the shade At Night. And this does have a little bit of, it has glow, but it has a little bit of some of that kind of just in from the cold look that everybody is wanting to do these days. I'm going to use the BK Beauty 104 brush for this blush. And what I'm going to do is I want to get a decent amount on the brush, and then I'm going to tap it off on the back of my hand and then start at the back of the cheek and lightly tap in, and then take a look, see how it looks with that red lip. Add maybe a little bit more. And just gently, lightly add enough so you can see just that little extra color makes this half of the face, I think, look a little more cohesive than this. And then I'll do the same on the other cheek. And here now is our finished look. So not too difficult on the eyes, just a couple of shadows, and you can see by using that bright shade on the lid, it makes the overall eye look really brightening. And then that muted red lip, I just love it. If you don't own the Maybelline vinyl inks and you don't want to buy a new lipstick, if you have a red lipstick in your collection already and you just want to mute it down, start off by doing that neutral kind of mid-tone brown lip liner, and then maybe go on top of it with more of a neutral nude shade. You could even use a little bit of MAC's gel in the center of it. I love to do this trick with brighter lipsticks just to tone it down. I prefer going on top of a red lipstick with another lipstick as opposed to a gloss, because red lipstick is just notorious for bleeding and getting out of control quickly. So that's one tip I would have if you're going to top a red lipstick with something. Try doing another lipstick, but this lip combination stays intact for hours and hours and hours. So it is definitely one that I'm going to continue wearing even into the new year. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Be sure you check out my nail tutorial if you haven't already done so. Check the description box or that pinned comment for all of the products and brushes and tools I used today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.